As our kids are going to school, some of them are lucky enough to take a car with them. So think about that car or that truck or that jalopy that we're sending our kids to college with. You know, drivers under the age of 22 account for 13.4% of the driving population, but they're responsible for 30% of all the car accidents. And thinking about that risk, you know, we were all so careful and queasy in our stomach when we saw our kids back out of our driveway for the very first time. I mean, all of us, you know, drive careful. Make sure that you're not speeding. Maintain a proper lookout. Make sure that the car's in good repair. Don't loan your car to anybody that you don't know, because you're responsible. You know, you send your kids to school, that car belongs to them, but in the dorm, he may be the only kid on the floor who's got a car. Who do you think is going to be the most popular kid in that dorm? The one that lends the car to everybody else who doesn't have them. And 30,000 kids on campus, some of them may have insurance, some of them may be underinsured, or some of them don't have any insurance. So let's make sure we send our kids to school with an admonition. Do not lend that car to somebody that you don't know or that they don't have insurance, because you're responsible.
Because this is what your kid's going to say. My dad would kill me if he knew I was giving you the keys to my car. But they're going to give them to him anyway.
Yes, they are. So let's make sure that they've got collision coverage. Let's make sure that they've got comprehensive coverage. Let's take advantage and let's parlay that education into lower premiums. You know, we should get a good student discount. Our kids want spending money. That good student discount for good grades is a real good thing to dangle out there, Mom and Dad. Hey, get those good grades, son. Whatever it is that we save on this car insurance, I'm putting in your checking account, and you can have some extra spending money. Just spend your time wisely. So I love that good student discount, and I love the admonition of telling our kids, hey, it's our responsibility. If somebody brings alcohol into your car, you're the owner of that vehicle, and that alcohol is yours. So be real careful who you transport, and make sure you're not transporting inadvertently any drugs or any open containers.
I'm really concerned about texting. I mean, we see people walking down the street, running into lamp posts, falling off of curbs because they're texting. Don't tell me they're not driving and texting. They are, and statistically, it's more dangerous than driving drunk. Your child's driving down the road, minding his or her own business, doing what they're supposed to be doing. Their cell phone rings, and they receive a text message. Well, immediately they throw the phone down in the seat and say, well, I couldn't possibly answer this. After all, Dad told me never to text while driving. Want to hear another fairy tale, Frank?
350 times a day. That is the average that people with a smartphone look at their phone during the day. 350 times.
Wow.
So I just try and tell my kids, look, if you're driving 30 miles an hour and it takes you 3/4 of a second to react to something if you're paying attention, and another 3/4 of a second to get your foot off the gas to the brake, that's a second and a half. You've just traveled 65 feet. You've killed a little child, because if you are looking down at your phone, it takes you an extra second. That's 30 more feet. You can't go 2 seconds traveling 30 miles an hour looking down at your cell phone. It is a recipe for disaster. And if you think that the police aren't wise by checking the telephone records in the event that you hit somebody or you cause more than $500 worth of property damage, think again. All they've got to do is get those records. And if you were distracted, it's against the law in some states to even hold your cell phone. I didn't say text. I said hold it. In California, if your cell phone isn't affixed to a permanent cell phone holder in your car, it's illegal to touch your cell phone. That means if it drops, if it falls, if it rings, and you pick it up and you look to your right and there's a motorcycle police officer, that ticket just costs you $300 in the state of California. It's a zero tolerance, and rightly so.
Yeah, and I'm glad it's $300 because here in South Carolina it's $25, as in $25, which is who cares.